me feel like it make you go and get some.
All roads lead to one thing. I'll be seeing you soon, Toretto.
God, she's so beautiful, man. Am I right or wrong? Look at her. How am I supposed to do this interview? Look at this woman. She's so fucking beautiful. It's like you can't even do an interview with her because you're just like, da 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 da. Oh my God, guys, someone save me. When did this turn into I love you?
Vin Diesel has been accused of SB by his ex-assistant, and The Rock has reacted, and this is what he had to say. Well, if it isn't the universe dishing out a little lesson in humility. Heard about Vin's latest stumble? Literally stumbled, by the way. Tripped right over that massive ego of his. You know, the one that makes him think he's the center of the universe. And there he goes, landing flat on his face. That's what happens when you spend too much time looking down on everyone else. You forget to watch where you're going. Honestly, I couldn't help but chuckle. It's like watching a kid throw a tantrum and then trip over his own toy. Priceless. You'd think with all that fame and fortune, he'd have learned a thing or two about grace and maturity. But nope, he's out there, acting like a childish brat, and boom, karma strikes back. It's a classic case of what goes around comes around. You walk around acting like you're invincible, and life has a funny way of reminding you that you're not. It's a bit of poetic justice, really. Maybe now he'll take a step back, literally and figuratively, and realize it's time to grow up. But who am I kidding? Knowing him, he'll probably just blame it on bad lighting or a slippery floor. Some people never learn, but hey, it makes for a good laugh, doesn't it? Stay humble, folks, or life might just trip you up when you least expect it. Vin Diesel, a famous actor known for his role in the Fast and Furious movies, is in a big legal problem. Vin Diesel, famous for his role in Fast and Furious, is facing a serious accusation from a former assistant. Asta Jonasson, who worked for Diesel, has filed a lawsuit claiming that he sexually assaulted her in 2010 during the production of Fast 5 in Atlanta. Jonasson was employed by Diesel's production company, One Race. Her job included organizing events, accompanying Diesel to parties, and being present in photos at events Diesel attended without his girlfriend. The lawsuit details that Jonasson was asked to wait for Diesel in his hotel suite one night in September 2010. After some women left the suite, Diesel allegedly grabbed Jonasson, pulled her onto the bed, and began to touch her inappropriately. Feeling scared and unsure about how to react because of her job and personal safety, Jonasson tried to escape. However, the lawsuit claims that Diesel continued his actions, even pinning her against a wall. After this incident, Diesel's sister, who is also the president of One Race, fired Jonasson. Despite signing a non-disclosure agreement when she took the job, Jonasson was able to file this lawsuit. This is thanks to the Speak Out Act, which stops non-disclosure agreements from being enforced in cases of sexual assault, and California's AB 2777 law, which allows for older cases of sexual abuse to be brought to court. Jonasson mentions that movements like Me Too and Time's Up inspired her to seek justice and regain control over her life after her experience with Diesel and One Race. Besides his role in Fast and Furious, Diesel is also known for his work in movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and Riddick. USA Today has tried to get a comment from Diesel's representatives regarding these allegations. Vin Diesel is really important in the Fast and Furious movies. He first played Dominic Toretto in 2001. People really liked his character because he was tough, but also cared about his friends. He wasn't in the second movie, but came back in the fourth one, Fast and Furious. When he came back, the movies started to include not just car races, but also big heists and spy stuff. This change made the movies super popular all over the world. In the other movies, Diesel's character stayed important and helped make the stories interesting. He showed that the movies weren't just about action, but also about family and being loyal to friends. Diesel didn't just act in the movies, he also helped make decisions about them. He had a big part in keeping the movies exciting and loved by fans. Vin Diesel's real name is Mark Sinclair. He was born on July 18, 1967 in California. He grew up in New York City and started acting when he was 7. Before he was famous, he worked in clubs in New York and started using the name Vin Diesel then. He's really known for being in action movies, especially the Fast and Furious series. Vin Diesel, a well-known actor, worked hard for many years before making it big in movies. He was really determined, and in 1995, he made a short film called Multifacial. He wrote, directed, and acted in it. The story was partly about his own life. Steven Spielberg, a famous director, saw this film and liked it. Because of that, Diesel got a role in Saving Private Ryan in 1998, which won an Oscar. He also did the voice for the main character in The Iron Giant, an animated movie, in 1999. Diesel became super famous as an action hero with 2 roles. In 2001, he played Dominic Toretto in The Fast and the Furious, and in 2002, he was Xander Cage in XXX. His character in The Fast and the Furious, Dominic Toretto, is really important in the movies. These movies are exciting and about car races. They helped make Diesel really popular. Diesel isn't just an actor. He also produces movies. He started his own company, One Race Films, and has produced lots of his movies. He didn't stop there. Diesel also started a music company called Racetrack Records and a video game company called Tegon Studios. Diesel has done a lot of different things in his career. He's even in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he voices Groot in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's known for playing in action movies and doing voices in animated films. Diesel is one of the actors whose movies have made the most money in the world. Vin Diesel was born Mark Sinclair on July 18, 1967 in California. He grew up in New York City, which was a big influence on him. His mom, Delora Shirlene Vincent, was an astrologer, and his adoptive dad, Irving H. Vincent, taught acting and managed a theater. Diesel's mom and dad really helped him become interested in acting. Even though he didn't know his real dad, Diesel talks about how his mixed background has been important to who he is. When Diesel was 7, he and his brother and some friends got into trouble. They tried to mess up a theater in New York's Greenwich Village, but instead of getting in trouble, the theater's director, Crystal Field, gave them parts in a show. This kept them out of trouble and started Diesel's love for acting. He kept acting in theater while he was growing up. Vin Diesel got into acting and the arts when he was really young, and it helped him a lot. He went to Hunter College in New York City and studied creative writing there. What he learned about writing stories helped him later when he started writing movie scripts. Writing scripts became a big part of how he got into making movies. Even though Diesel started acting early and loved the arts, getting into Hollywood was hard for him. He had trouble finding roles that were right for him because of how he looked and his acting style. This tough time made him more determined to make it in movies. This determination led him to make Multifacial, a short film that really helped his career later. Vin Diesel, famous for action movies, keeps doing great stuff in movies and TV. He's got a lot of different projects coming up, showing he can do lots of things like acting, producing, and being a voice actor. In 2023, Diesel is in Ark, the animated series. This show is based on the video game Ark Survival Evolved. It's about a world with dinosaurs and has people from different times in history. Diesel does the voice for a character named Santiago and is also helping to make the show. He's also working on Muscle, an action comedy movie coming out in 2024. F. Gary Gray is directing it. Diesel plays a guy who's on the run and trying to prove he didn't do something wrong. He's not just acting in it, he's also producing the movie. In 2025, Diesel will be back as Dominic Toretto in Fast X Part 2. It's part of the Fast and Furious movies, and Louis Leterrier is directing it. The movie will continue the story from Fast X. Diesel is acting and producing in this movie, showing he's really dedicated to these films. There's also a new Riddick movie coming called Riddick Furia. David Twohy is directing it. Diesel plays Riddick again and goes to his home planet that he forgot about. He's acting and producing in this movie too. Fans of the XXX movies will be excited for the 4th one, where Diesel is Xander Cage again. The movie is still being planned, but it should be full of action like the others. The Last Witch Hunter 2 is another movie being made, and Diesel might be in it again. Not much is known about it yet, but people are looking forward to it. Diesel is also working on a movie about the game Rock'em Sock'em Robots. He's going to act in it and help produce it. This shows he's interested in action and sci-fi movies. Finally, Deisel is doing something different with Hannibal the Conqueror. It's about Hannibal, a famous general from Carthage. Deisel is directing and producing this movie. Recently, Vin Diesel has been accused of something really serious, and this could affect his movie and TV work. When someone famous faces big problems like this, people in the movie and TV world pay close attention. Sometimes, if a star is in trouble, the movies or shows they're working on might get looked at again or even stopped for a while. Deisel has a lot of big projects coming up. He's working on Ark, the animated series, Muscle, Fast X, Part 2, Riddick, Furia, the next XXXX movie, The Last Witch Hunter 2, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and Hannibal the Conqueror. Because of these accusations, these projects might get delayed or have some changes. They might have to think about whether Deisel should keep his roles, or they might even stop making some of these for a bit.
Rock bottom. I can tell you what it feel like.